Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We're continuing our reading of Tafseer As Sa'di. We are in Surah Al-Baqarah 236. Let's begin. There is no blame on you if you divorce women before the marriage is consummated or the dowry settled, but give them a gift as compensation, the wealthy according to his means and the poor according to his means, a gift of a reasonable amount. This is an obligation on the righteous. So notice here that it's according to your means. Again, one doesn't need to be swimming in wealth before they get married. And that a woman shouldn't expect a diamond and all that nonsense if it's not according to her husband's means. I'd also argue that even if the man has the means, you shouldn't expect so much. But that's another story for another time. I like how it says, a gift of a reasonable amount. So right there, it puts a cap, I think, on some exorbitant amount one would pay for a gift. Some women desire these $5,000 bracelets, $2,000 rings, $300 pair of pants, something utterly stupid. That's not reasonable, in my opinion. Sure, some people got reasons to justify such things, but not me. But again, it's pointing out here that it's obligation to give something when you've divorced them before you consummated the marriage or before the dowry is settled. The scholar says here, that is, there is no blame or sin on you, O husbands, if you divorce women before consummating the marriage or settling the dowry. So a woman cannot say, you're blameworthy, you're sinful if you divorce me before we consummated. It's actually, I think, better. If you consummated it and then he leaves you, it's almost like he scammed you. But the emotional side, I think, is what he's getting at. He goes on further to state, so you should give them gifts in the form of some wealth, as compensation for upsetting them. This gets at the female psychology, because gifts are really nice. Like, imagine, okay, I'll give an example, right? Let's say someone wanted to marry me. I get all excited. They say no, for whatever reason. You get your feelings hurt. You get bummed out, And then they give me, an African gray parrot as, a compensation. I'd be like, yeah, I'll take the parrot. That's pretty cool. Or imagine if I lived on a farm and they give me a baby donkey, right? Yeah, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Bye. So, there is some truth to that, right? There is some truth to that. At first, you're like, oh, you'd be disappointed. But if they give you a gift, it's almost like they healed the burden, the embarrassment, right? And I think that's very wise, truly. Now, he goes on further. They have no right to mistreat them. So, don't mistreat each other. You don't have a right to mistreat him because he didn't want to marry you, and he doesn't have a right to mistreat you because he didn't want to marry you. As they caused them to look forward to marriage and their hearts became attached to the idea, then they did not give them what they wanted. They must, in return for that, give this gift. So the looking forward to it, getting these all ideas of your dresses, what kind of food you would have. Sometimes we women, I think men do this too, but I'm not sure if they do it on the same thing when it comes to marriage. You start to plan things out. It's like, oh, what kind of cake will I have? Where will so-and-so sit? Oh, how will I make the flower arrangements? However wedding they want to have in their head, they go on about it. I didn't have a fancy wedding, I had very bare bones. Didn't want a ring, didn't have a dinner, didn't have a cake, no party, none of it. So, didn't buy a dress, I just had my niqab outfit, right? So I was very simple. But I know some women, when they go about it, they start planning fancy things. And the more they plan, the higher their hopes get and the harder they fall. So the more resentment they feel. right? And then they can hold a grudge and go nuts, or cry too much and become depressed. So a nice gift, it can help. And when you've been given a gift and you're still complaining, well, now you're the selfish one, I think. Very unique. It kind of shows you the male manners and female etiquette that's coming into play here in 236. Let me know what you think.